Hello everyone, this is Lori from Grammy's Keepsakes, and I've been dyeing some wax paper with a friend of mine, Gail. Hi Gail. And I wanted to show you my process, but first let's take a look at some of the papers that we've already done. And what we've started with was plain old wax paper that we got from the dollar store. You can also use store brand wax paper. It doesn't matter. So here's some of the red. I use RIT dye, liquid dye. And so I've got some red sheets to play with. Some lemon yellow. These would make great pages and pops of color. Here's some peacock. They all come out a little bit different. They feel so nice and soft. They have that marbling look to them. They're just beautiful. But they'd be great for embellishments and clusters and collaging. Here we have a blue. They're just gorgeous. I love all the marbling. Okay, and then we have a purple or violet. That's a lot of color. And we have indigo, which is like a navy blue. And with the light shining through, I can see stained glass windows and all kinds of fun, creative ideas. But let's put this aside and take a look at the process. Okay, so here is the recipe of what I'm using. I'm using the RIT liquid dye, and I have a mark here where I have 2 ounce, because you need 1 part liquid dye to 2 parts vinegar. And I'm going to put the cover on that right away because that would be a big mess. And then I just use distilled white vinegar. So 2 parts of that. So that'll be up to the top with my 2. So I have 4 ounces of vinegar and 2 ounces of dye. And now I'm going to add 4 cups of not quite boiling water. And I'm just using a disposable type plastic dish that I got at the dollar store. And I'm trying it with, this is the dollar store wax paper, and this is a store brand wax paper. And they are a little different. The store brand one is more waxy. And of course I set everything on it. So I think you can see this is the smoother, waxier one on the top. You just make a ball, crunch it up. And this is the dollar store. And I got them at Dollar Tree. And I have a few crunched up balls here already, so I'm going to go ahead and put those in. I don't want to overcrowd it. And I've got some cheapy tongs. Let's get more in view. And I'm just going to dunk them in. And I'm going to let them sit here like this for 15 minutes. And then we'll come back and turn them over. Okay, it's been 15 minutes, so let's go ahead and turn these little crumpled up pieces of wax paper. That way it gets completely submerged. And this is dark brown. I'm making a sunflower journal, and I wanted some brown looking paper for pop in with my book and the decorations. So now we're going to let that sit for another 15 minutes. Okay, so they've been soaking for another 15 minutes. So now I'm going to take them out and try to squeeze out some of the dye and put them in a glass dish that I have here. It's a large measuring cup. It can be anything. I just find that this is easiest to wash up after the dyeing, and just kind of squeezing it out. And then I'm going to bring it over to the sink, rinse it with cold, cold water, and then bring them outside and lay them on the grass to dry. And they do lighten up when they're drying, and they get nice and marbled looking. And while they're wet, they are fragile, so I don't try to overhandle them a lot. Okay, now I'm going to take them over to the sink and rinse them off and bring them outside. So I'll see you when they're dry. Okay, so it's dry now, and I brought it in from outside, and now what I'm going to do is iron it. But we need a piece of parchment paper. Put over the top of it, and I use baking parchment paper for this. And I've got my iron set on a low medium heat. And this is what it looks like. So it's going to be pretty and gorgeous for my journal. While that was working, I was working on some coral also. So that's how this turned out. So we have some coral and some brown. And each one is a little different. And for another look at the ones that I was working on before over the weekend, to add to it, here we have our red, yellow, peacock, a blue, a violet or purple, indigo, the brown, and the coral. Give this a try. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of fun things that we can do with these. And thank you so much for watching, and have a creative day.